Hello everyone and welcome to my very first video on this channel. In this video I'm gonna try and help you guys figure out finances, and as you maybe saw from the title, I'm gonna be explaining why you're always broke and how to fix it. So let's start right off. We have 6 different reasons why you mainly can't save money and why you can't budget and why all of your money leaves your account no matter what you do, and even though you think you're not even spending that much. And the very first reason why money is leaving your account and you can't even seem to manage to understand why it's leaving your account and you can't control it, the biggest reason is that it's not even your fault. What do I mean by this? Why is it not your fault? Everything that you buy and everything that you spend your money on is basically your own decision. So why is it not your fault? I think that it is not your fault because in school you were never taught about finances, about saving money, about budgeting, about necessary expenses versus unnecessary expenses. You were just told simple things that you needed for like a school education, but not finance and money management in general. So in my opinion, for people who haven't gotten a financial degree or an economics degree, you can't really fully understand your full economic situation as well as taxes, for example, and why things cost the way that they cost and how to actually save more money and how to budget money properly and how to find cheaper deals and have cheaper prices and save much more. And if you haven't been taught that, there's a thing where like you basically don't fully understand how to budget your money, and I want to help you with the rest of the 6 steps to let you understand how you can budget money more faster, more efficient, and how you can save much more money in just like your daily life. Number 2, your biggest silent killers. I'm gonna remove this really quickly so I can just like write it like so you guys fully understand it, and then I'll write the rest of the steps back on. Your biggest silent killers. What are your biggest silent killers? Your biggest silent killers. Now, the first one is housing, the second one is car, third one is insurance, fuel and maintenance, which is like basically like the car part, and number 4 is forgotten subscriptions. What do I mean by all of this? First of all, housing. The most important factor in all of this is, I think, housing. Housing means either renting an apartment or having a mortgage, which is like really high. The main part is usually where you live and how you decide to live. Housing is a really big aspect in all of this. Housing is one of the most important things that you have in your daily life. You either have a mortgage or either you're renting out an apartment or perhaps you're living with your parents and you're not paying for anything. Housing is meant as in rent or a mortgage, or if you're living with your parents, it means nothing because you're like not paying for anything. But regarding housing, you have to live by your means. You can't expect to like live alone by yourself in like a 3-room apartment or like a big house with a high mortgage if you're not earning a lot of money. You should never be in massive amounts of debt because, for example, if a recession hits or if there's like a world war or if, for example, a war breaks out, then you're unprotected. You have the mortgage, but you can't keep paying for it because you don't have income. What if you get fired from your job? What if there's like a national crisis where your boss can't really pay you a lot of money? What if you can't cover the rent that you currently have or like the mortgage that you currently have? In the rent case, okay, you leave and you try and find a different place to live, but it's still gonna be hard. And for a mortgage, you'd basically spend so many years paying for that mortgage, and now if you can't pay for it anymore, if the banks don't allow you to work something out, you can lose your mortgage, which is like a really bad thing if you lose it. So the biggest part in housing would be to have the cost down. What do I mean by having the housing cost down? It means finding a place that is cheap and that doesn't have big amounts of different kinds of spending. You want something that, if it's an apartment, you want something that has a low rent and low heating costs, which would probably be inside of a renovated building or somewhere where the heating costs aren't that high. And you want some place that doesn't really use up a lot of electricity and just be economical with all of your living expenses. So that might not be the best place to live. Let's say if you're going from a 3-room apartment to a 1-room apartment, that is not going to be really nice and that is not going to feel that good. But in the long run, if you just save up the money that you have right now, and let's say for example you invest it somewhere else, then afterwards from those returns that you get, you can actually upgrade your living situation, and you can actually like try and earn a lot more money from what you have. But if you're spending like, let's say like $1,500 on just rent, that money is just like leaving your account, and you just like you're not gonna get like anything from it. But if your rent is, let's say for example $500, you can invest that money into some investments, and then afterwards that money in the long run, that this $1,000 that you're gonna save, if you've invested properly, you can like get returns of let's say you save this 1,000 euros on just the rent costs, and basically if you try and save that money and if you invest it, that is gonna get you like to a $1,200 worst case scenario by the end of the year. So you just made like $200 from just living in a cheaper apartment. But the main focus is on the yearly, because if you have a yearly savings of $12,000, then afterwards when you take that money and when you actually invest it, you are going to get, I would say, like 14,000 at least, which is like 2,000 basically. You just got $2,000 a year just from simply not spending in on rent and not living in a really expensive apartment. With that 40,000, if you keep on just like investing it continuously, you can easily build your portfolio up to like $50,000, which you can easily use to start a business or try and start a way for you to get money, or just put it into like long-term investments, and then afterwards your money is going to keep on going up and up and up, and then you can have like even, let's say like 70 or $100,000 saved. And if you have $100,000 saved, depending on the area where you live, you can actually buy yourself a house and you can actually start living and not paying for rent ever. But the most important thing is that you do not have a mortgage. On these rates, you do not have a mortgage. You can get a mortgage if you have confidence in the market and in the whole world economic situation. Because if you do not have confidence in the whole world's economic situation, then afterwards when you have a mortgage, and when, let's say for example, recession hits, as it could happen like now in the up and coming years, you are stuck with a huge amount of debt that you have to pay back to a bank. And if you do not have a job, it is going to hurt you a lot. Let's say it is going to hurt you a ton. But how can you avoid it? You can just like not get a mortgage. You can not get the mortgage, and afterwards if you have those 80,000, let's say, already saved, right? If you have those 80,000 saved, it is in your account, it is not stuck in a mortgage, it is not spent on anything else. If you have it saved, what happens when a recession hits? A recession hits, and housing all of the housing prices go down. What does that mean? A recession hits, all of the housing prices go down. So let's say for example, you wanted to get a house that was $200,000, and you got a mortgage on it, and you're paying a high fee on mortgages, right? Afterwards, when this housing prices hit, your mortgage stays the same, but the housing like price that you're paying for is gonna, let's say, go down to like $12,000. Basically, you just lost $80,000 just because of the fact that you didn't have it in your account, right? But afterwards, let's say a recession hits, first few weeks it falls down to like $120,000, okay? A few weeks later, it's gonna fall even more. And then if you have those $80,000 in your account and it's not tied up in a mortgage, right? You can just outright buy that $200,000 house without any kinds of complications, without having your money tied up anywhere. You can just straight up buy it, and you will have a $200,000 house for yourself for only $80,000, which is the hugest benefit in having money saved. If a recession hits, first of all, you can buy yourself your dream home, and second of all, even if you don't buy yourself your dream home, afterwards if you get fired or if something goes really bad and you can't make any money and you don't have a job and you're struggling to find a way to live, you can actually use that 80,000 to support yourself and support your family as well during those hard times. But if you don't have any money saved, and if you have have a huge mortgage, huge mortgage, which is like $200,000, you're probably going to be paying like $2,000 in rent every single month, right? If that happens, and if you're paying those $2,000 a month and a recession hits, your money, if you can't keep paying for it, is completely gone, right? The bank will probably give you back like some kind of like a percentage on your mortgage, but if that bank actually collapses, you're basically screwed. You can't do anything. That mortgage is basically like gone. First of all, you lost $80,000, right? Which is like the depreciation price. And second of all, if that bank collapses, they can't really do anything about your interest rate, and you can't really work anything with them out to like have that mortgage extended by like some years. So basically, if you have that huge debt of $200,000 hanging above your head, and if you get fired from your job, which happens when a recession hits, then basically you're gonna lose not only the $80,000, you're gonna lose your mortgage if you can't keep paying for it. And your bank will probably give you like, let's say, I don't know, like $20,000 back if you're like can't pay for it, and if the bank like goes bankrupt or like something like that, depending on your contract. So that is not what we want to do. We do not want to do this. We do not want to have a huge mortgage or a huge rent above our heads. We want to be economical. We want to have that, let's say, $500 rent area, or like the cheapest thing you can find. You can always find a cheaper apartment and just make it better watching some tutorials on YouTube on how to do like miniature renovations, but you cannot decrease your rent if once you're already in a expensive apartment. So the biggest thing would be just to live by your means, save money, and have money saved in case something happens. And if in case the housing prices go down, you can actually buy yourself an affordable house for a really cheap price, or at least get a really high down payment on a really good deal, and you can actually have a really expensive house by the end of like just budgeting through some years and investing that money, and having that money basically make you more money each month, and just saving and keeping it like invested, but like having always some money in your bank account no matter the circumstances. And once you get enough from your investments, I would suggest cashing out and not leaving all of your money inside of an investment, because if you're investing in like stocks or something, if everything goes really bad, the stocks are gonna drop as well. And what happens when the stocks drop? You get your initial money, or even worse, you lose money. So you should always have some cash, like cashed out, and I mean actually cash, physical cash inside of your hand, because if banks go under, then afterwards, if you don't have physical cash on hand and you can't basically access your account and you can't withdraw money, it is basically a survival situation for you, and you have to figure out what are you supposed to do. So the main thing, housing. All right, explained about housing a lot, like I don't know, I could go even more depth about this, but the main idea about housing is do not live expensive. Do not have a high mortgage. Do not have a high rent. Do not live expensive. I'll say it again, do not live expensive. You have to decrease your rent amount, and you have to decrease your mortgage amount. You have to decrease it. You have to find a cheap place where to live, and you have to find a cheap mortgage. You cannot have like basically all of them being really high. You have to get them down. If you already have a mortgage, okay. If what I would suggest, if you already have a mortgage, try and see with the bank if you can refinance on a different kind of property, and you can actually get a cheaper property and give that expensive property to the bank. For example, now that house prices are like at a really nice point and a really nice price, if you actually go back to the bank and let's say your 400,000 house has become a $500,000 house, you can ask them if you can give that $500,000 mortgage back to them so they can lease it and mortgage it out to someone else, and tell them that you're actually interested in, let's say, a $200,000 mortgage. And once you do that, basically if your rent was like $2,000, it's gonna go to like $1,000. So you already have an extra $1,000 in a month to spend on something else, which I would suggest on investing, as I said before. So just get your costs down, and no matter the circumstances, just try and get the amount that you pay in a single month down so you can have more money to invest inside of different kinds of investments like the S&P 500 or different kinds of nanotech stocks or different kinds of copper mining or copper processing for like nano chip technology kinds of stocks. Just search up on the internet and do some research about different kinds of stocks that you can invest inside of and try and get your money that way. I went into like a lot of detail trying to explain this. Basically it was a straight point of like trying to basically just get the amount that you pay every single month down. I hope that I explained it enough. I hope that everybody who just saw the first point about housing and getting the prices and getting the rent down, I hope everybody understood what I meant by that and I explained it like good enough, because I don't want this video to be really long, so I'm not gonna go into more detail about this, but this is a really expensive point that you have to get your rent down. The next one is car. Same as with housing, you have to get the amount that you're paying for your car down. What I would recommend are 1.9 TDI diesels that are like basically I would recommend a Golf like a Golf 4 or like a Volkswagen Passat or a Audi A4 B6 or an Audi 8 or different kinds of like cheaper cars that have like cheaper maintenance and where you can like learn how to do the maintenance all by yourself, because the more simpler it is and the more that you don't have to do different kinds of like repairs that are like electrical and stuff. First of all, the car maintenance is gonna go down. They're not gonna ask you for that much money. And second of all, you can do a lot of it by yourself. These newer cars that people have, they want the newest one, but as soon as something breaks, that repair cost is gonna be like $3,000 or even higher. You wanna have a car that has cheap maintenance as well as simple maintenance, as well as not a lot of electronics, as well as you do not have to pay a huge leasing fee on it. If you're leasing your car, you should cancel it immediately. Do not lease your cars and do not basically rent your cars. That is one of the worst things you can possibly do. If a car is $2,000, if you can get a car that is $2,000, if you put $5,000 inside of that car, it's gonna be basically brand new, and it's gonna be even better than any kind of car that you can get for like $7,000, because those $7,000 cars come with $3,000 repairs. These $2,000 cars come with $200 repairs. It is a huge difference on maintenance and on everything. And going more into detail about this is gonna be the third one, but like finishing off on the second step is getting your car insurance and getting your fuel as well as maintenance down. That is why I said basically the third step is closer to like the second step, because you have to basically take all of that inside of consideration. So I hope that everybody understood from what I was explaining about getting your car price down. Get a cheap car, but that is not fully rusted, because once you have rust and once everything is really messed up, then it is not that good anymore. You have to get a car that is hopefully not crashed, that has, with older cars, the mileage is not that important. Do not look at the mileage to get your full aspect of a car. Older cars have to have a huger mileage, but the thing is that on like older cars, all of the parts have been changed already, because a car can't drive for like 500,000 kilometers and not have like everything changed. It cannot have all of the original parts basically. It has to have everything basically changed to be driving on those kilometers and to pass a technical inspection. The best thing that I would just recommend to everybody is getting your car costs down and having a cheap car that has cheap maintenance, cheap insurance, as well as where you don't have to worry about a part costing like $3,000. You have to just get a cheap car, and that's the main factor. Get a cheap, good reliable car. And that's basically what I wanted to explain with like this one. The next one is the third one, where I basically went into depth about like the car stuff. Get something that has low insurance, that has pretty good fuel consumption. I would recommend a 1.9 TDI diesel engine, as well as that has simple maintenance and that has cheap maintenance. And if the maintenance is cheap, then it is probably going to be easy. If the maintenance is high and it costs a lot, it means that the maintenance is expensive and you should not get that car. You should get a car that has easy maintenance, where you can watch just on YouTube a video and you can find how to do it yourself, and that isn't full of electronic components where basically changing one part is gonna have you basically disassembling and reassembling the whole car. I cannot stress this enough, but focus on a car that has low maintenance in terms of price and how to do it. Price, it should not be expensive to do maintenance on your car, and how to do it, it should not be super hard to change something on your car. Do not fall into a trap where you're paying a lot of money to just have like a cool BMW or something where you don't have any kind of savings, you don't have any kind of knowledge about the car that you're driving, and you can't change anything on the side of the road. You have to have a good car that does not take up a lot of money from you, where you can have simple maintenance in case you ever need to do it yourself, and where you're not stuck in a trap, which is basically paying for that car every single month and just basically having to fix it all the time. You should not be fixing a brand new or like a slightly used car and spending your whole paycheck on a car. You have to have a car that is by your means and that is cheap and reliable, and you do not have a high maintenance. And the fourth one is forgotten subscriptions. Forgotten subscriptions are things like, let's say, Amazon Prime, or let's say Netflix, or different kinds of subscriptions. Just go into your account and check what is taking money out of your account every single day. Just go into your bank account and look at your account. What is leaving your account on a monthly basis? How many subscriptions are there? What are expenses that you don't need? What are expenses that you do not need? Check if there are subscriptions which are unnecessary expenses. If you have money leaving your account for no reason every single month, cancel that subscription and check it, please. If you're watching this video right now, check your account, check your bank statement, not even bank statement, just go into like your account and click on this month and just go through all of the expenses that you had this month. Go through every single expense that left your account this month and check if there were unnecessary expenses. Check all of these subscriptions. If there are subscriptions that you don't need or you just feel like you don't need, you probably don't need it. So check and cancel them. For most things online, every single thing on the internet has a free alternative. If you're paying for something online, you can probably get it for free. Just do your research, don't be lazy, and just look up on YouTube or ask AI or just write on Google and search for it. Find things that you can use for free online. You do not need a ton of subscriptions to make your daily life better. You're just paying unnecessarily. So check if you have any kind of unnecessary subscriptions and cancel them. And this is it for like the second step. I spent a lot of time talking about the second step because I wanted to like emphasize more on like the most important things. I have to clean my whiteboard really quickly. Okay, we got that out of the way. That was like a really big part of like everything, the biggest silent killers. I hope everybody who's watching this video understood what I meant by this, because this is really important. So I'll even like put like a little star on it so everybody remembers that number 2 is one of the like biggest steps. The third step, food. One of the most important things as well in your daily life is food. What do you eat? Where do you eat it? Do you make food by yourself, or do you buy every single thing that you eat? What is food for you? How much do you spend on food? If you're living with your parents, okay, you don't have to pay for food. Let's talk about those who have to buy their own food. Food expenses is like really, really important because usually making food by yourself in like inside of your house is much more efficient. If you make food for multiple days in a row, let's say as for example, you make like wraps for like 3 days or 5 days forward. If you make like macaroni with chicken and like stuff like that, or if you like eat just like eggs or different kinds of things to get your protein up, eating healthy is cheap. Okay, let's remove this and let's make it like this. Eating healthy is cheap. If you make food by yourself, it is cheap. If you make food at home, it is cheap. If you just make healthy food and you follow healthy recipes, living and eating is cheap. If you make macaroni with some pasta, if you make some wraps, if you make some just chicken with like something, and if you like eat eggs and stuff, eating healthy is cheap. It is gonna be much more cheaper to make food at home and make a lot of it than it is going to be going to fast food places. Fast food is gonna be expensive and restaurants are gonna be expensive as well. You have to remember, if you're trying to budget your money, you cannot have expensive, unnecessary expenses inside of your daily life. You need to be productive and you need to have low costs. You need to be a low cost human being. You do not need to spend a lot of money on just food. Okay, I understand that like in America and stuff, it is really expensive to just live because eggs cost a lot of money and groceries cost a lot of money, but you can always find cheaper deals. You can always try and find cheaper things to buy. I do not recommend buying the cheapest thing that is on the market because usually it is going to be really bad and it is going to be really bad quality. Do not take this budgeting thing in terms of like destroying your daily life and destroying all of the pleasures and things that you want to eat. Just like do not destroy your daily life and daily routine just because of like budgeting things. This is not meant to like enslave you and basically make you not buy anything that you want. The main thing is just to get it down, get the price down. So like basically you're not spending so much money on just fast food and not doing anything. And if you don't know how to cook, you can search up on YouTube how to cook and you can just make your own food. It is not gonna be that hard to like take a single piece of chicken, cook it and add it to some pasta. It is not gonna be that hard to like basically cook some eggs or boil some eggs or like make a salad or cook some potatoes or cook some meat. Just learn how to do it. Watch YouTube videos and just try it. Even if it's not gonna be good like today, basically if you just buy a piece of chicken and if you cook it and if you don't like it, then the second time that you're gonna cook that chicken, you're gonna make it better. It is gonna be better. It cannot get worse if you just think about why it didn't come out the way that you wanted it to come out, and if it didn't come out for multiple times as you wanted it to come out, then you can just search up on YouTube how to cook chicken properly, or how to cook meat properly, or how to cook potatoes properly, or like let's say how to boil macaroni if you overboil it or underboil it. Just take it slow and just change your daily routine and do not spend a lot of money on food. Go to food markets where basically people are selling, like farmers and stuff are selling their fruits and vegetables. If you have any kind of farms around you, try and get that food from those farms because that farm food is going to be extremely healthy as well as cheap. You have to understand, you have to have a healthy food and you have to have it for cheap. You do not need fast food that is expensive and restaurant food that is expensive as well. You need healthy food that is cheap. So if you have farmers, if you have people who sell like fruits and vegetables like on the street at like markets and stuff, and if you have stores that sell fruits and stuff for cheap like Lidl and stuff, then get it from there. Do not spend a lot of money on unnecessary expenses. Just try and get your living budget down. I went into a lot about this step as well because I think food is incredibly, incredibly important, and you should understand that it is incredibly important and you should focus on food as well and how much you spend on it. Lifestyle. One of the most important things as well, lifestyle. Do not spend money where you don't need to spend it. Again, this whole video is just you not spending money where it is not supposed to be spent. I know that you want to spend it where it is not supposed to be spent. I know that you want to hang out. I know that you want to drink. I know that you want to smoke cigarettes. I know that you want to smoke other kinds of things. I know that you basically just want to go outside and party and have fun and do lots of things and buy fast food. I know that you want to do it because you are lazy. You do not want to do anything yourself. You do not want to sit at home and budget and think about your account and watch your account statements and watch how much money is leaving your account and actually save and invest and focus on your future. You want to go outside, you want to blow your money, you don't want to focus on anything and you don't want to focus on any of your goals. You just want to live a fun lifestyle. A fun lifestyle. A fun lifestyle is not a cheap lifestyle. A fun lifestyle where you go out and hang out and stuff is not gonna be cheap. You have to think about yourself and you have to think about your health and you have to think about what you're doing with your time. You do not have infinite time. You do not have infinite health. You do not have infinite money. You need to save it. You need to invest it and you have to become free. You do not want to live a 9 to 5 lifestyle for your whole life and then just die and leave nothing for your grandkids. You want to live a good lifestyle so you're healthy when you get old, so you don't have to spend a lot of money on medicine and treatment and different kinds of massages to get your back health back, to get your organs health back, to get your destroyed, sleep deprived mind back. You do not want to spend all of your money on different kinds of things that damage your health, make you have a unhealthy lifestyle, and make you destroy your health. Do not destroy your health. It is one of the most important and most expensive things to fix. Do not destroy your health. Have a good lifestyle, budget money, invest money, be responsible, and still go out and have fun. Do not limit yourself to just being able to have fun while drunk or while high or while intoxicated. Do not put yourself that low. You are not that low. You can have money without drinking. You can have money without being intoxicated. You can have money without spending tons of money on different kinds of like foods and beverages and things like that. There are so many things to do and so many hobbies that you can have that do not involve money, where you can actually make money, not just spend it. Don't have a unhealthy lifestyle, but have a healthy lifestyle. Just have a healthy lifestyle and have healthy finances. And that is one of the most important things to have a healthy lifestyle, is having a healthy budget and having some money that you can actually spend on a few things that you actually really want. Always ask yourself, do you actually need it or is it just for fun? I went a lot into like detail about like all of these points. I could go into more detail, but I don't want to make this video so long. I just want to explain these steps and I want you guys to understand these steps, and I don't want to like bombard your head with like too many things that you cannot take in fully. 50, 30, 20% rule. What is the 50, 30, 20% rule? It means 50% needs, 30% wants, and 20% savings. 50, 30, 20% rule. What is it and what does it help you do? 50, 30, 20 means 50% is needs, money you spend on what you actually need, necessities, food, rent, car, food, stuff like that. 30% is wants, what you want to buy, what you want to have, what you actually want for your further development as a person. For example, if you want to start a business, you want to buy, like, let's say, a different kind of equipment. Let's say even if it's like a computer or like a monitor for like studying or like better clothes or stuff like that. As long as you spend that money on wants, things that you actually want and actually have to be like better and more presentable and to do more work, Those are wants. You should spend that money on wants. Wants are not meant to be things like fast food all the time and unnecessarily expensive clothing or unnecessarily expensive cars or stuff like that, or unnecessarily expensive parties. It is not that. It is wants, things you actually want and actually want to have, like let's say a year down the line. Just think about what you actually want and what you actually need. Savings, 20% savings is meant as the money that you always have on your account that you're saving for a rainy day, or things like a down payment, or like buying yourself something that you extremely need and want, which is this step right here. It is part of the wants. And from that 20%, you have to figure out how much you're investing. So you're always making money even when you're not working. This needs to become a priority because basically investments are these steps as well. Because when you're investing inside of, let's say, equipment to make work faster or more reliable, you're basically investing in yourself. So invest in yourself as well. Invest in yourself. You need to invest, you need to look presentable. Do not walk around like a homeless person. If you look unpresentable and if you're extremely obese or if you're extremely like bad in taking care of your health, successful people do not want to fully talk to you as well. You need to be presentable. You need to have that like you have to have a presentable appearance to actually talk to people who can help you with money and actually help you evolve. So do not cut yourself off from just like the needs and wants and savings section. That yourself section should be in within those 30 and 20% because it is an investment. Invest in yourself, invest in your appearance, but do not buy Gucci or Dior or Yeezy kind of outfits because they are overpriced and you do not need them. Just have clean, good clothes that's like basically no brand. You can just get like a $20 shirt that looks really, really nice and it is incredible, but it has no logos or anything on it, right? So like the thing is that nobody really cares and nobody's gonna like people are gonna judge you for having a torn up Nike sweatpants and a torn up white Nike shirt, but people are not gonna judge you for having a simple shirt that is not torn up and a simple pair of jeans that is not torn up as well. So it is better to have cheap clothes, I would say budget clothes of like good quality, than it is to have expensive clothes which are really bad quality or which are really used and torn up. So do not get stuck into that trap that you need to spend a lot of money on clothing just to look good and nice and presentable. Just get yourself good outfits and just be yourself and do not try and impress anybody with your Gucci shoes because to be honest, that is not cool. Let's be honest, designer things are not cool. People make out them to be cool because they spent a lot of money on them and they're trying to impress different kinds of people that they can afford them, but the other people can't afford them. So do not get stuck into that trap and always follow the rule. And the sixth one, 3 actions to take today. Choose whichever of these you're gonna like pick as your action to do today, but I would recommend starting now. Just starting now. If you start now, it is gonna be the best time to actually do something about your situation. How do you start now? Go into your account, okay? Go into your account and check how much you have spent this month or the previous month on unnecessary expenses. Please check it. Check your rent amount. How much are you paying for rent? Check your mortgage amount. How much are you paying on a mortgage? Check your car payment. Are you paying too much for your car? Is that car expensive enough that you would want to sell it? Is a cheaper car the better option? How much is your car's maintenance? How much in the past year have you spent on your car's maintenance? How much is insurance every single year? How much unnecessary money are you spending on insurance just to have an expensive car that you can't even afford, to live a worse lifestyle that you could have be made much better with just a cheaper car? What can you save your money and budget your money on? What are your biggest silent killers? Do you have a relationship where your partner is taking your money and spending it unnecessarily all the time? Do you have different kinds of people you're giving your money away to all the time? Do you have high rent, a high car payment, or something that is destroying your budget? How much are you spending on food? Are you making food by yourself? Have you actually tried to learn how to make food? That I think that people can't even make their own food at home, and they can't even make a coffee by themselves at home. They have to go out and buy it all the time. You know that coffee is like basically 10 cents a cup. 10 20 cents a cup. You have all of these recipes, even Starbucks recipes online, that you can just recreate at home and have your favorite coffee at home for like 10 20 cents. Why can't you just do it yourself? Why do you have to pay for everything? Why are you not capable of making food for yourself at home? Think about those questions and think about them hard, and think about the amount of life improvements you could make just by not being lazy, which is the lifestyle part as well. Are you actually spending time on your future? Are you studying? Are you saving and putting in investments? Are you preparing for your future? Or are you gonna be like homeless when you're gonna be old? What if your grandkids don't want to take care of you when you're old because you have given them nothing and saved up no money to actually give them as inheritance? Or what if you even don't have any kids? What are you doing on this planet? What is happening? Why are you not focusing on your future? You have to think about your future. You can't just live in the present, because if you grow old and you do nothing and you waste all of your talents and you start nothing and just live your whole life as a 9 to 5, you just basically gave your life to basically your government and just pay taxes like a good civilian, and you have nothing to give your kids or your grandkids, and you're just failed as a parent. So please focus. Please, you do not have a lot of time. Please focus. Please budget. Please invest money. Please have backup money. Please have savings. Please do not have a 100% lifestyle. Please have a 50-30-20 lifestyle, and take action on your lifestyle right now and figure out what you can do to actually improve. I hope that you guys actually listen. I hope that everybody who watched this video actually listened. I hope that this video actually helps someone, because if I was younger and if I saw a video like this, and if I actually started thinking early on about saving money and trying to make money wherever I can, and trying to invest it and save it, and trying to improve on the way that I look and everything like that, and not buying expensive clothes, but even buying thrifted clothes or used clothes that are like good quality, I would, I think, save even more. As soon as you have a pretty good amount of money, you start spending it where you do not need to spend it. I think one of the best things that you can do is just having, like, let's say, if you're making $2,000 a month, let's say, right? You instantly, at the start of the month, you just put $800 into a saving account that you can't access without, let's say, calling your bank, for example, right? Then you have $1,200 to do whatever you need to with, okay? And you pay for all of your expenses and everything. And let's say you have $500 left. With that $500 left in your bank account, you're not gonna make half of these purchases that you're making right now. But when you have like basically $1,100 in your account, You're gonna start ordering food, you're gonna start going out to movies, drinking, partying, going on vacations, having a good lifestyle, which we were focusing on, eating expensive food, eating at restaurants. You need to just have a way where you don't have all of your expenses tied up in your lifestyle. Save your money, please. Just save it. Have some cash as well in case something happens and you can't access your bank. Have some savings, which is physical cash. Have some savings, which is on your account, and have some investments. And try and look for ways to make more money, either higher salary or something like that. So please just improve on your lifestyle and please try and follow these steps, and then actually when you start following them, you're gonna understand why you're always broke and how you can actually fix it, because that was the meaning of this video. This is why you clicked on this video. You clicked on this video because you want to see why you're broke and how to fix it. This is why you're broke, and this is how to fix it. It is as simple as that. What is left over is if you're gonna follow these steps or if you're not gonna be following these steps. Because if you just watch this video and you do not take action and you just stay on this, if you stay on this wave and if you just do nothing and you do not like try and improve anything in your life, then this video has like basically no meaning. You did not need to watch this video to basically just watch it and do nothing. So you like understand when you're watching this, the main part of this video was to take action. Please just listen to everything that I just said in this video and please take action. Take action. And I know it sounds like a guru, like trying to explain something like, oh, take action. Like, I know it sounds like a guru trying to explain something and trying to sell you like a course, but there's no course. This is just you and me. This is us talking about your finances. This is you taking action and you actually trying to improve something about your life and trying to budget your money. Please just budget your money. Please listen to all of the 6 steps that I said in this video, think about them. Go into your account and actually look if there are these flaws inside of your account, and please take this seriously because this is serious and we are talking about your life and it is your daily life and your whole future. So please take it seriously and please try and follow these things that I talked about in this video and please take action. And I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I just wanted to make this because I, in my like starting life, have had a lot of problems with budgeting and stuff, and I've been budgeting from a really young age. And I know a lot of people in life, which are my friends as well, that do not know how to budget their money. So I hope that this helps. I hope that just posting this one video will actually help some people, and I hope that you will start taking more action and trying to save and budget your money. And thank you everybody for watching.